Welcome to HortTube. My name is Jim Putnam. This is an exciting video because the native plant garden is actually getting bigger than we originally thought it was going to be. I was going to make a video. This video was just going to be me marking some lines on the ground for where the paths were going to go for the new native garden and just kind of design overall. And then our neighbor back here who we haven't talked to a whole lot. They actually face another road over here, but we see them occasionally, talk to them occasionally. They have offered to allow us to come all the way. This is a garage back here. I get a lot of questions about what this brick thing is. They've allowed us to come all the way in here, all the way to here with the native plant garden. And so this changes completely. It actually puts us back at the starting line because we had gotten rid of most of the invasives over here, except for a few things we have left to take down. But there's a giant mulberry, a Chinese mulberry over here, and another Chinese privet, and some English ivy, and some other things we've got to get out of here. But we had, what I said, had gotten to the starting line because we had, again, taken out most of the invasives, and then we had gotten all the wood chips down. So it's about 6 inches of wood chips here if you haven't been following along. And there's a playlist for this native garden. So every video that goes up on this is going to be in that playlist. And we had already planted 3 plants along here. Those 3 plants are now where my path is going to go. So I'm going to show you that in just a minute. I've got some upside down spray paint. I'm hoping this, I've got yellow. I wish I had white because I think white would show up a little better. I hope the yellow shows up against this. We're going to see in just a minute. But you'll get the gist for where the path is going to be here. So we'll have 2 paths that go into the main garden back here. So when folks visit for the open garden in June 20th and 21st, the tickets are over on our website if you're interested in coming to the open garden. There'll be a path that goes into the back garden from back here and one back toward the driveway back in that direction. But when we were thinking about how to plan this piece over here, it's so narrow that if I did a path, let's say it runs, through here, and I did a path that runs maybe through here, somewhere in there, and I don't know if this is going to show up at all from up there. Maybe it does. Look how close those were going to be together. This was going to be a super narrow little piece in the middle. So I've just really struggled with this long, narrow piece on how to design it. It almost made more sense to put one path through here and maybe have it widen out a couple times or something. But it was going to be a weird design video because I was just going to have this long little skinny 2-path thing. But now, because we have all that extension over there, we can push this path closer to the edge here. I'm not going to try to have people on their property for the open garden. So everything that's over here will just be, you can walk past it and kind of see everything. And we'll have tags back here so you can see maybe even a map of the things that are over here. We're probably going to put examples of a couple different styles of gardening that we can do with using native plants. So we'll probably have some sort of within this garden, a couple of other garden styles, maybe a formal garden of some kind where we use inkberry hollies and dwarf yaupon hollies and make a formal garden out of some native plants. So it's going to give us the opportunity to maybe have a few other styles within the larger garden. But anyway, now having this path here and over there allows this middle piece to have a lot more layering that we can do in there. We were literally going to have a path down both sides and have a single plant, like a single layer of plants down the middle. It was going to, again, I had struggled a bit with how to lay out a long, narrow space like this. It's not long and narrow anymore. Now it's virtually square and allows for a lot more design to be added to it. Well, the 3 plants that we've put in here already are now in the middle of the path of where the future path will be. And they're gonna have to move a little bit. Probably not the Viburnum nudum, but the American beautyberry, which just got moved here, I'll probably end up moving now because I'll bring this path close to this edge when we start designing. No big deal. This thing's, I could probably move it 8 times and not kill it. Same thing with the clethra over there. They're gonna be pretty adaptable, but I'm gonna try to, real quick, hope I have enough paint in this can. And I hope the drone's up high enough that you can still see me over here. Somewhere over here is the entrance to the garden. And we'll have some things on the outside of a fence over here, and then we'll have a center gate, basically on a low fence. And so the path will enter, in this area. And now that we have all that space over there, we can pretty quickly split this path now over to here. And again, go right through the middle of where that clethra is sitting. Hopefully these lines are viewable. But somewhere in here, I'll probably make some sort of path that comes back over to here and heads back that direction. I'm gonna run out of paint. Yep, okay. So somewhere in here, this path will go back and reconnect to that. And then perhaps this path will come in a bit here and come back up and then widen back out again. So it just creates some sort of contour in here, maybe some sort of figure eight, but elongated figure eight where that end is much larger circle than this end. I think my yellow paint was not the best idea. And I'm out of paint. So there you go. That's some of my thoughts on how to now look at the amount of space between these two lines. We can create more of a layered planting now, which is in that back garden bed, in the main garden, we have 3 tall plants right in the center, kind of spaced out, and then we have layered things down to the paths. That's the thing paths give you in landscape design. The more pathways you have, I think overall easier to design it is. Because by having a path here that heads back in that direction, we have on this edge of the path, we can put small things and then we can stack them up this way. And on this side of the path, we can put small things and stack them up this way, right? And then they can come back down the other direction to that path that's over there. And it's a much easier way to design. Plus, for me, a lot of those interesting ground covers, low growing perennials, some of those finds that you find at the end of the season on the shelf that are discounted, little dwarf conifers and things like that. A lot of those plants are kind of the most interesting things to me. And so the more pathways I have, the more of those tuck-in places we have for small plants, okay? If I did this as a 40-foot wide bed, it's really, really hard to figure out how to layer 40 feet deep. You know what I mean? Because you're always gonna pick something. Something's gonna end up in the middle that grows faster than everything else, and it gets bigger than the thing, and it's behind it and hides it and that kind of thing. So I highly encourage you to, if you're gonna have large spaces, to have a path network through them. It also gives you, the other thing about the back garden back there is you don't see what's on the back path because we have it slightly blocked in the middle. And so you have to go back there, right? So it creates some curiosity, it creates rooms and hidden spaces within the garden. So my upside down spray paint was a bit of a fail. This is how I normally show design in these videos. Hopefully though, you could see where I was walking. And maybe I'll walk it one more time real quick. But we'll have some sort of entry path back here, and somewhere right in here, it will fork and go that way and fork and go that way, okay? We'll get close to this property line right here and have their gardens back this way, and this garden back this way. We'll have to move this clethra. Again, we got to get to the starting line again. I got to take these invasives out, and we're going to get 2 more loads of wood chips for this. So we were at the starting line. We've backed up from that. Somewhere right in here, we'll create some sort of path that ties back to the other side over there, so it doesn't just stay 2 parallel lines all the way up. And then the two lines may be a little closer together right here for a second, and then they'll widen back out again. So again, some sort of figure 8, but the bottom one here will be longer, typical of a figure 8, where the bottom of the 8's bigger than the top of the 8. So there you go. That's the kind of layout and thoughts as the drone is up there telling me that its battery's running down, I'll wrap the video up. Thank you guys so much for following along with this. Don't forget to subscribe to this playlist and look for upcoming videos on this native garden project in Raleigh. Thanks for watching.